Hey everybody, Trina here with Primal Life Organics. I'm going to be talking about how to heal a cavity. This is my masterclass. If you're interested in how to heal a cavity, you are in the right place. I am a registered nurse. I have a master's degree in anesthesia. I understand how the body works. I was interested in how teeth can be remineralized because my daughter at the age of 2 had a molar erupt that had a natural cavity in it. This is what a cavity looks like right here. We're going to talk about how can you heal a cavity? Can you heal a cavity? So while I'm waiting for people to join me, if you have any questions during this broadcast or during this masterclass, please comment in the comments below your question, and I will be answering questions at the end of this masterclass. So I'm expecting this to take probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get through the material, and I will take questions at the end. I'm just pulling up my feed so I can see. Here we are. So I mute mine. Hi, Yarlene. Hi, Christina. Thanks for joining me. All right, guys. So on the board here, I wrote the formula for a cavity. Look here. So it is, a formula for a cavity is bacteria plus sugar or starches, and that produces lactic acid in the mouth. And then the lactic acid produces plaque and demineralization of your teeth. So if this is the formula for a cavity, how do we disrupt the formula so that cavities don't happen? By the way, cavities, the formula for a cavity is also the same formula for gingivitis, and that can actually lead to periodontitis, which is the disease of your gums. That can affect you internally as well as the bone structure of your jaw. So this formula for a cavity is the same formula for the breakdown of your gum tissue, which leads to gum disease and internal inflammation. So let's stop it inside your mouth because we don't want it to get inside your body. All right. If anybody's just joining me, this is the How to Heal a Cavity Masterclass. I am Trina Felber, the CEO of Primal Life Organics. I am an oral wellness expert. I have healed many cavities around the world, and I am also a registered nurse who cares about your health. I value health, and I value your health. So, first of all, how to heal a cavity. First, you have to understand, you have to believe that you can heal a cavity. So this is the formula for a cavity, right? You have to, I get questions all the time. Can you heal a cavity? Most people think, no, you can't heal a cavity because that's what we've been told. If you're using things off the shelf, brand name, store-bought oral care products, you cannot heal a cavity. As you go through this masterclass, you're going to understand why, and I'll explain it later. But if you're using products that are creating this environment inside your mouth, you will never heal a cavity. So we want to disrupt the formula for creating a cavity by creating the environment that doesn't allow this to happen. So here's the question that I pose to you if you still don't believe you can heal a cavity. Do you believe that you can heal a bone fracture or a bone that has some sort of splinter or fracture in it? Because the bone has the same minerals in it that your enamel or that your teeth have in it. So if you believe that you can heal a bone fracture, then you should believe that you can heal a cavity, because a cavity is the same type of injury to a tooth as a bone injury. And if you believe that you can get that bone to heal, then you should believe that a cavity or a demineralized spot on your tooth can heal. It's all dependent on the formula and the condition or the environment inside your mouth. See, your bone is in an environment that's very stable. It has a very stable pH. It's not exposed to sugars and starches. It's not exposed to bacteria. So it's in an environment that is conducive to healing a bone. The problem inside your mouth is that you are exposed to bacteria and you're exposed to sugars and starches, which then creates the lactic acid, which then can create the breakdown. You can't heal a cavity in a lactic acid environment, but if you neutralize that environment, you can definitely heal a cavity. So, teeth are living organs. We need to know that. They're like the skin, the heart, and the bones. And each day your teeth lose minerals from the surface. I have a tooth here, and the enamel, I'm going to go through the different pieces of the tooth, but the enamel is the harder part out of the tooth, and demineralization over time makes that tooth susceptible to break down and decay. Plaque accumulation can accelerate the decay process, attracting acid-producing bacteria that slowly destroy the mineral content of the tooth. Once destroyed, the tooth can become irreparably damaged and infected and can lead to more serious health conditions like gum disease, heart disease, brain problems inside your brain, as well as problems during pregnancy that can actually lead to low birth weight children. It also can lead to gut issues as well. I'm going to talk about that later. So I want to talk a little bit about the enamel real fast. The enamel is the hardest substance in the human body and contains the highest percentage of minerals, even higher than bone. It has 96% minerals, and then it has a little bit of water and a little bit of organic mineral compost. So it's 96% minerals. The primary mineral is hydroxyapatite, which is created from calcium and phosphorus. So that's the main minerals in your teeth. Minerals such as calcium and phosphorus help make up the tooth enamel along with bone and dentin. So the dentin, I'll get into this in a minute, is this lighter color part that sits underneath your enamel. Super important. The enamel and the dentin are really probably the most important structures on the outside of your teeth, and they create the wellness for the inside of your teeth as well as the inside of your body. So those two surfaces, the dentin and the enamel, also are the two surfaces that prevent cavities from happening. So it's the damage to those two, the enamel and the dentin, that's going to cause a cavity. What is a cavity? Let's define what a cavity is. All right, so here's the formula for a cavity. Bacteria plus sugar and starches equals a buildup of lactic acid in your mouth. So basically your mouth likes to be more neutral or alkaline. That's where it really needs to be. But because of our diet, because of the things that we put in our mouth, because of the things that our mouth is exposed to, it ends up being more acidic, which then leads to the lactic acid buildup and then the plaque and demineralization, which then leads to the gum disease and the cavities. Mineral loss in your tooth. So once the mineral loss is severe enough, the acids eat through the enamel and then it affects the dentin. So usually, here's the key. Usually you do not feel pain until it has worn through your enamel and gone into your dentin. So this cavity right here that I've got in this tooth has worn through the enamel and is well into the dentin. This is where you would have pain. When you have demineralization in the enamel itself, you may or may not have any pain. You might have some sensations to different foods, different liquids, like temperature sensations to hot and cold, but the mineral loss on your enamel may not affect you, or you may not know that you have mineral loss. We have mineral loss every single day. It happens every single day. And it's important to know that the minerals to replace your teeth have to happen inside your mouth. You can't take a supplement to make stronger teeth, all right? You can't take calcium to make stronger teeth. Inadvertently you can, and I'm going to explain how your saliva affects remineralization in a minute, so stay tuned. But you can't take a supplement to actually strengthen the enamel of your teeth directly. It all happens inside your mouth. It happens either through the food that you eat or what you're brushing your teeth with. And if you're brushing with something that's store-bought and comes in a tube, I call it Toxipaste, then there's a good chance it has 0 minerals in it, and you're not going to remineralize your teeth that are losing minerals. And you are setting yourself up for a longer chair time, more expensive dentist visits, pain, and poor, not just poor dental health, but poor internal health. Like I talked about heart disease, problems with brain, because the bacteria in the mouth has been found to be correlated to Alzheimer's as well as heart disease. All right, so let me go into what the tooth enamel really does. Let's dive into the enamel of the tooth. All right, Tooth enamel is the hardest, so this is the outermost part, the hardest and the most highly mineralized substance in the body. It's 96% mineral with water and proteins accounting for the other 4%. This high mineral content gives it its strength and hardness, but also its brittleness because it loses minerals, because as you're losing minerals, you're becoming more brittle. Tooth enamel undergoes a process called demineralization if the pH of the mouth falls below normal. This happens throughout the day because of the foods that we eat. I'm going to have Mike put up a slide shortly in a second about the different foods. But at a pH of 5.5, so neutral's around 7, pH of 5.5, the teeth begin to demineralize, putting you at risk for cavities. A healthy mouth has a healthy pH. You want your pH around 6, 7, or even higher, around 8. To keep your teeth healthy, you must keep an oral acidity to a minimum. Teeth can actually become stronger and remineralize when the mouth has a pH of 7.5. Super important, okay? Mike, can you throw up that screen real quick of the different, so I want to show you guys the different pHs of some of the things that you might be putting inside your mouth. And some of them are more alkaline, but most food that we eat is acidic, which is going to cause the demineralization to happen. All right, so we've got the slide up. Obviously, battery acid, I don't think too many people eat battery acid, but it's just showing you where that pH is. Your stomach acid is around a pH of 1. So people that have gastric reflux can definitely have an issue with their enamel. Anyone that has issues with vomiting can also have, so if you think about people that have cancer or chemotherapy or have, issues where they're vomiting quite a bit, you can have issues with your enamel just because of the acidity of your acid in your stomach. Lemon juice and vinegar are up to. Orange juice, soda is actually around 2.2 or 2.5, and some dental rinses, which is really interesting when that's on there. Dental rinses that are acidic pH are actually created to cause cavities. Got it? The Dental Society and the companies out there making oral care products are not making them with your best interest in mind when they're making rinses and toothpaste that have a pH around 3, because that's causing cavities. Now you know, so now you can be prepared. Tomato juice and beer are around 4. Black coffee is around 5. Milk and saliva are a pH of around 6. Now 6 is where it starts to become better for your teeth. This is important because saliva is one of the things that you want to promote in your mouth, and I'm going to get into that in a minute because that can help with your remineralization. Pure water is 7 unless you buy alkalized water, so it's around 7. Seawater, pH neutralizing dental rinses are around 8. Baking soda is 9. Antacids are usually around 10. Or 11. Other dental rinses can be as high as 11. Soapy water is around 12. So when your mother said she was going to wash your mouth out with soap, she was actually doing you a favor because she was actually going to promote remineralization. So kind of funny, huh? All right. Thank you, Mike. All right. The combination of mouth bacteria. So the combination of mouth bacteria, I'm going to get into the mouth bacteria in a minute, but and sugars from some foods such as snacks, soft drinks, and sweets generate the buildup of lactic acid. The acidic condition over time causes the enamel to slowly dissolve, creating cavities. This allows for greater bacterial invasion deeper into the tooth, which assists right here in the decay process. All right. So let me talk really, really quick about the other layers of your tooth, because those are really important to understand as we talk about how we heal a cavity. You do not want the demineralization to dip down into your dentin. But if it does, and that's where you feel the pain, do know that there is still the possibility of healing that. You just have to make sure that your formula is corrected. I'm going to show you how to correct the formula so that it's a formula to prevent cavities. Got it? Or to heal a cavity. All right? So this is a tooth that's really far into the dentin, and you do want to prevent it from getting down further to where the pulp and the nerves are. But your dentin is this layer right here, the more opaque or tan color. So it's the second hardest tissue, and it lies underneath the enamel, but it's not quite as hard as the enamel. It's the part of the tooth that surrounds the pulp, right here, in here, and connects to the pulp. If the dentin is exposed or carious, which means it has a cavity, then sensitivity or pain is relayed to the nerve from the open tubules, because it's got tubules in it, and then that's when you feel the pain. Decay that has extended into this layer of the tooth can spread rapidly and needs to be treated. So it's either going to need to be treated by a dentist the traditional way, or if the pain's not severe, you can try and treat it the way I'm going to teach you. So, but at this point, you're starting to feel the pain. So the color of the dentin can range anywhere from gray to black, but it's typically pale yellow. The yellow hue is generally what is seen penetrating through the tooth enamel. Here's the interesting thing. As you're losing your minerals from your teeth, the enamel starts to wear thin. Sometimes the yellowish or the grayish or the bluish color that you get from your teeth, or you see on your teeth, isn't from stains, but it's from the loss of minerals and the enamel wearing so thin that you are now seeing your dentin, the color of your dentin, peek through. All right. You can rebuild your enamel. You just have to do it with a better formula than this, because this formula is not going to do it. All right. The tooth sensitivity is caused when the dentin is exposed to temperature changes, acidic foods or beverages. So if you ever wondered why you were drinking something neutral, but you still had teeth sensitivity, it's because of the acidity, not the temperature of the food. And sometimes, like, the other thing that I want to mention about pH, meat is usually very acidic. So even like if you're eating foods that are warm temperature, it might not necessarily be the warm temperature, it could be the acidity of the foods. Sugars found in foods can cause pain, or in the beverages that you're drinking. So like iced tea or something that's sweetened. Dentin exposure is caused by receding gums, tooth decay, and the loss of the enamel by dental abrasion. Okay, so here's what's interesting. When I talked about the color of your teeth and teeth whitening. So I do have a product out there that helps to whiten your teeth, and it's the LED teeth whitener. But what it also does is rebuild your enamel. Remember, your enamel is the whitest part of your tooth. As it wears thin, if you're not replacing those minerals, you are going to have a discolored tooth, a yellow or a different color, like a grayish or even bluish colored tooth. To rebuild the enamel, you need minerals. That's going to be part of the formula for rebuilding your enamel, because obviously that's what's lost in this formula. That's the demineralization. We have to reverse this formula. All right. Let me talk about the pulp really quick. So the pulp is in the center here, and it is the soft tissue that contains the blood. So it's got the blood and the nerves in it right here. And the pulp extends from the crown, so the top up here, down to the tip of the root. And you can see it goes all the way down into the root. And then inside here, which looks sort of like the dentin, but that is the cementum. That's the fourth layer of your tooth. That's the layer of bone-like tissue covering the root, and it's not as hard as the enamel, okay? And then obviously this part of the tooth below the crown up here is what's sitting inside your gums. So your gum tissue is very important to keep healthy, and in your bone. And dental disease doesn't just affect your teeth and your gums, but it can also extend deep into your bones. When you have it deep into your bones, then you have more problems, and then you also have more internal health issues, because your oral health is definitely correlated to your dental health or your internal health. You can actually look inside someone's mouth and predict their level of internal health by looking at what their mouth looks like. All right, so now I want to talk about bacteria, the mouth bacteria, because that's the first part of this equation right here. We talked a little bit about the foods that have a low pH. That was the lactic acid buildup of the food inside your mouth. Part of the lactic acid. The other part of the lactic acid comes from this combination of bacteria plus the sugars in the foods that you're eating. But the most common bacteria associated with dental cavities are the mutans streptococci, and they're most prominently Streptococcus mutans and Streptococcus sobrinius and lactobacilli. So those are the three most common bacteria that can cause cavities and gingivitis. So again, this is the formula. The bacteria plus the sugars that you eat creates plaque. Plaque is a biofilm. Plaque is that hard covering over bacteria. It kind of protects the bacteria so that you can't get to it at some certain point. And it also causes that buildup can leak through your gums and inside your body. The plaque inside your body, I have this to demonstrate also. This is really interesting. So this is a picture of what your coronary arteries should look like. It should be very hollow inside. I'm going to pull this one up so you can kind of see. You can see, let me go where you can see through it. I'm doing this backwards. I should just do this. Okay, so you can see through it. Very clear. There's nothing going through that. But as I start to move these up, you can start to see that there's a little bit of plaque buildup inside each one. And as we move down further, you can see that this one is actually almost completely clogged. The plaque buildup inside your coronary arteries has been it's been correlated to be the same plaque that's inside your mouth from the buildup of the bacteria. All right? So that's how important taking care of your mouth and getting rid of the bacteria that causes plaque is to your internal health. All right, so why would your tooth develop a hole? So what is plaque? Plaque is a sticky, slimy substance made up mostly of the germs that cause tooth decay. The bacteria in your mouth make acids, and when plaque clings to your teeth, the acids eat away at the outermost layer of the tooth, which is your enamel. The bacteria inside your mouth is probably one of the easiest ways to disrupt this formula. Keep that in mind, because what I'm going to teach you is how to get rid of the bad bacteria, the bad biome inside your mouth, and recreate an environment where only the good bacteria live, or for the most part, only good bacteria live. They can fight the bad bacteria. Remember, this bad bacteria likes a pH that's below 6. It likes to live in an acidic pH. But your good bacteria, your good mouth biome, the protective kind, so this is pro-inflammatory. This is pro-inflammation, not just in your mouth. Pro-inflammation, it causes inflammation in your gum tissue, can cause inflammation inside your body. We are coming out with a CBD formula of tooth powder, and people want to know how it works or what it works on. It works on the inflammation. It's helping to cut down the inflammation while the tooth powder is creating the environment that's good and right for good bacteria to live, so that this equation can't happen. So CBD cuts down on the inflammation. You want an environment that's not pro-inflammation, but anti-inflammatory inside your mouth. But let me talk really quick. I'm going to talk really quick about how we disrupt this formula right here. I'm talking a little bit about the pro-inflammation or anti-inflammatory. So it's very simple. Let me get to this. Okay, so we have a cavity here. This formula creates a cavity. But what we really want is to fix that cavity or prevent it from happening in other teeth, right? Because if one tooth has a cavity in it, it's all your other teeth are in the exact same environment that tooth was in to create that cavity. So not just one tooth is at risk, all of your teeth are at risk, all right? So how do we keep this tooth healthy or heal a cavity? Well, it's simple. We just have to go back to this formula and sort of do something like this. We want to get rid of this and get rid of, these are probably the two most, the two parts of this equation that you can affect the most. You are probably always going to be eating something that contains sugar and starches. So it's unrealistic to say cut all sugar and starches out of your diet, because this is probably something that's always going to be in your diet in some form or some way or some time. So yes, while you do want to limit the sugar and starches, because obviously it's going to affect your dental health, that's not something you can completely erase out of the equation. But guess what? These are the two things that you can. You can get rid of bacteria or cut down on the bacteria that causes plaque and gingivitis. And by doing so, if you get rid of this and you eat some sugar, this doesn't happen, right? Get rid of the bacteria that eats the sugar and continues to create more bad bacteria, then creates the lactic acid. If you get rid of the lactic acid, the acidic environment inside your mouth, when I talk about pro-inflammation, pro-inflammatory, that's what this is. The lactic acid is a pro-inflammatory environment inside your mouth that leads to plaque and demineralization of your teeth. It also leads to gum disease, heart disease, brain problems, and so many other things. But if you get rid of the bacteria, and creates no lactic acid, which basically means you're going to wipe this out as well. Can you heal a cavity? You absolutely can. You can. If the condition inside your mouth is correct and you reverse the formula that creates a cavity. All right. I'm going to tell you how you do that really simple. You stop using the products that are creating a cavity. Like that, for that, I mean things that look like this. This right here is a formula for creating a cavity. What you want to look for in what you brush your teeth with. You want to look for something that is alkalizing for your mouth. It means it has a pH that's around 7 or higher. You also want to make sure it contains minerals. Minerals to put back in your teeth. Because remember, it's the mineral loss that creates a cavity. So let's look at it with the equation. This creates demineralization, which is mineral loss. We want to reverse this. We want to put minerals back in your teeth. So you need, instead of the acid, you need alkaline and you need minerals. Minerals plus an alkaline condition is anti-inflammatory and remineralizing for your mouth. I should put another one of these up here that has that, but that's what it is. It's the formula for remineralization. Minerals and alkaline equals remineralization. And it's simple to do. So what I created with my tooth powder, let me find my tooth powder. Dirty Mouth tooth powder has 3 different clays in it. They all, remember, calcium and phosphorus are the main minerals in your teeth. They are abundant. The 3 clays are bentonite, white kaolin, and French green, and they are all very abundant in minerals. Nothing grows in clay, including those 3 different types of bacteria that I talked about that cause dental cavities. So while you're brushing with this, which is an alkalizing tooth powder, it's going to create an alkalizing effect in your mouth. Alkalizing is anti-inflammatory. So we're getting rid of the pro-inflammatory just by brushing with this. We're killing off the bad bacteria that will feed off the sugar. So when you eat sugar, when you brush with Dirty Mouth tooth powder, you're reinventing the environment inside your mouth that creates good bacteria. This is your good biome. This is where, when I say oral biome, you should think the start of my immune system. I'm going to talk in a couple of minutes about your digestive health and how that really affects your teeth, but your oral biome inside your mouth affects your gut. Whatever is growing inside your mouth, pro-inflammation or anti-inflammatory, whatever you are growing inside your mouth, you are swallowing, regardless of whether it's going to get through your gums or not, you are swallowing it. With every swallow of saliva, every swallow of food, every swallow of anything you drink, you are swallowing the bacteria living in your mouth. If you are growing the 3 types of bacteria, or there's more, but just the 3 most common types of bacteria that are causing the destruction of your teeth, there's plenty of bacteria in there that can cause other issues inside your body. But you are swallowing those bacteria into, think about it, an acidic environment inside your GI system where those bacteria actually can grow. Your defense against bacteria, not just the ones that cause cavities, but the ones that cause gut issues and internal inflammation, should be inside your mouth with your good microbiome. An alkalizing environment inside your mouth does not create plaque and demineralization. You took lactic acid out of the equation when you brush with dirty mouth tooth powder. It will kill the bacteria. If you eat the sugar and starches, they aren't going to be the problem that they would have been if you had the bacteria in your mouth that feeds off of them. The alkalizing effect inside your mouth and the mineral content, remember, in order to remineralize your teeth, you need an alkaline environment, and that is what this is creating. So, the gum serum that I create goes right along with this. It's going to help rebuild your gum tissue. Your gum tissue is super important at supporting your teeth and supporting the structures of your teeth as well as your bones, but it's also super important in preventing bacteria from entering your body through your gum tissue. So the gum serum is extremely important as well. I want to talk for a second about saliva, because saliva is something we take for granted and don't think anything about unless we have a dry mouth, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about how saliva affects your oral health and your teeth. And I'm gonna tell you guys something that people probably have not told you. I'm gonna talk a little bit about some digestive disorders and how they really affect your teeth. But don't forget, when I'm talking to you about these, it's a circle. Your mouth is the start of your digestive center. And if you have issues with your gut, it didn't start in your gut. It started inside your mouth. And if you don't fix the origin, you will never completely fix the gut. And it doesn't matter how many probiotics you take or what you do. If you don't fix your mouth, the start of your digestive center, you will never really fix your gut. So it all starts inside your mouth. So saliva provides a physical barrier against local irritants. It lubricates and cleanses your mouth tissues. It promotes mucosal repair. It maintains a stable intraoral pH. I think I had it up there. The pH of saliva is 6. So when you eat food, you salivate and your saliva washes. And part of the reason it rinses your teeth is because it's trying to neutralize the acid inside your mouth so demineralization doesn't happen. But it only has a pH of 6. It helps with electrolyte balance. And it prevents demineralization and contributes to remineralization of your dental tissues. And that's the most important thing I want you to understand, is that your saliva has minerals in it. And it has calcium, phosphorus, and other minerals in it that your teeth need. And that is your body's way of remineralizing your teeth. Remember how I said you cannot take a supplement or a pill directly to affect the mineral content of your teeth? Indirectly, you can. When you're taking calcium and phosphorus, it's getting into your body. And when you salivate, your saliva contains those minerals. So indirectly, it can help. But if the environment inside your mouth is this, if it has bacteria and lactic acid, then you aren't creating the environment where when you salivate, the minerals can actually get inside your teeth. Zero mineralization happens when you have that bad bacteria and acid buildup. But it will happen when you salivate, when you brush with dirty mouth tooth powder, which is alkalizing and destroys the bad bacteria inside your mouth. So the saliva also contains, this is really cool. So this is probably one of the things most people don't realize is that your saliva also contains antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal components. This is part of your oral biome. It's supporting your oral biome, but it can't support the oral biome when the pH of your mouth is always acidic. When there's so much bad bacteria inside your mouth, it's your saliva, what it's producing is not going to be effective because it's being overpowered by the lactic acid that is built up inside your mouth. Let's see. Okay. According to the International Journal of Nanomedicine, saliva is an integral part of remineralization. Saliva not only prevents dry mouth, but it also contains the phosphate and calcium that your teeth need. It facilitates, when you chew, it starts to facilitate the breakdown of your food. And it also affects the taste that you taste of the food. So your saliva is really, really important. I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is awesome. All right. So this is where I geek out. This is where I totally geek out. And you guys, if you just joined me, anybody that's joined me, post questions. Mike's monitoring questions. I'm going to answer questions at the end. But seriously, this is my most important thing that I want you to understand, because a lot of people end up with gut issues, digestive issues. I'm going to talk about gluten sensitivity, celiac disease, and the other one is leaky gut. Everybody's talking about leaky gut and celiac and gluten, right? But nobody's talking about your mouth. I'm talking about your mouth. It starts inside your mouth. And everybody needs to be aware that these three conditions can prevent remineralization. And here's why. It's all a full circle. I should have my little guy up here with his naked body. It's a full circle. When you have these conditions, it's all related to the mineral content inside your body, all right? When you have these gut conditions, you are not able to absorb minerals from your food into your body, or minerals even from the supplements you're taking into your body. So it's a circle of, if you have one of these digestive issues, you're not absorbing the minerals, you're not providing the right environment inside your mouth, you're not remineralizing your teeth. Get it? It's kind of interesting. Okay, so in addition to eating foods and dietary supplements that are rich in minerals, you must take measures to ensure minerals are properly absorbed and utilized. Unfortunately, there are a number of conditions that can prevent the body from fully absorbing minerals. And these are the top three that I thought would be interesting, because there's a lot of information about this. There's a lot of people searching this. Celiac disease. All right. It affects, according to the Maryland Center for Celiac Research, it affects 1 in every 133 Americans. That's huge. Individuals with this condition experience an autoimmune reaction when they eat gluten, a protein found in many different grains, including wheat, barley, and rye. This autoimmune reaction causes the small intestine to swell, impairing its ability to absorb nutrients. For this reason, it's recommended that individuals with celiac disease follow the gluten-free diet to minimize digestive disturbances while maximizing the absorption of important nutrients like minerals. And so there's a huge mineral content that's not being absorbed when you have celiac disease. It's basically the inflammation. It all comes down to inflammation. That's why you want to start your digestive system in your entire body. The gateway to your body is through your mouth, with a anti-inflammatory condition, not this, not the pro-inflammatory. A gluten sensitivity is a little bit different. So the gluten sensitivity is similar to celiac disease, but the gluten can impair the small intestine's ability to absorb and utilize nutrients as well. So some people don't have full-blown celiacs, they just have a gluten sensitivity, and that gluten sensitivity, believe it or not, alone can prevent you from absorbing the nutrients that you need, like the minerals for your teeth. Leaky gut syndrome is the other thing I want to talk about, because there's so many people talking about leaky gut syndrome, but I'm telling you, it starts with leaky gum syndrome, which can lead to leaky gut syndrome. This condition is characterized by an increased permeability, which means the intestine wall doesn't look like this anymore, the cells of it starts to widen so things can leak through. It allows bacteria, microbes, toxins, and undigested food to leak into the abdominal cavity. In addition to causing serious health issues, leaky gut can significantly impair the body's ability to absorb vital nutrients that are needed for the remineralization process inside your mouth. If your mouth is not healthy, either is the rest of your body. So that's why it's so, so important. You can fix that. You can get rid of the bacteria and the lactic acid buildup that prevents the demineralization. Create that anti-inflammatory process inside your mouth, environment inside your mouth. It will help restore your gums, restore your oral flora, restore your gut, because when you're swallowing that good oral biome that you're creating, when you're using an alkalizing tooth powder, you're creating the oral biome that you want to swallow to feed and seed the gut biome. Think about this too. E. coli and H. pylori both start inside your mouth. Wouldn't that be amazing if that's where you killed it? But for a lot of people out there, they have this happening. Bacteria, E. coli and H. pylori are part of the bad bacteria that is found inside your mouth. When you swallow that into your stomach, you have lactic acid in your stomach. That's where it thrives. It starts to grow and multiply, and then you have problems inside your digestive system. But what if you got rid of the formula for cavities and replaced it with the formula for remineralization with your good microbiome and your anti-inflammatory alkaline condition inside your mouth? You would kill that bacteria instantly and never even have to worry about any of the issues inside. Instead of swallowing H. pylori, you would be swallowing your good oral biome, and then you might not. Here's the thing. I've seen research recently, and I totally believe this, is if you get rid of this formula, if you totally X this formula out and replace it with my formula for a healthy mouth, which is your good oral biome and your alkaline condition inside your mouth, you do not need probiotics. Years ago, think about this. Probiotics became popular, 5 years ago? It's very recent. What did people do before that? They were eating a healthy diet. They didn't have the bacteria, the sugar, the lactic acid buildup, right? They didn't need probiotics. Probiotics are expensive, and you can completely get rid of your probiotics, but it all starts inside your mouth. If you don't have the good oral biome inside your mouth, how do you ever expect to have the good oral biome or the good microbiome in your gut? There is a good possibility that you can have teeth that look like this without cavities, and you do not need probiotics. There is a lot of literature out there. You do not need probiotics if you are taking care and preventing the anti-inflammatory. You want to create the anti-inflammatory and prevent the pro-inflammatory condition inside your mouth. I want to talk really quick about sugar. I see all the love. Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. I want to talk about sugar really quick because it's part of this equation. I am realistic. I'm a realistic nurse who doesn't expect you to give up all sugar because sugar comes in all forms. It's hidden in things. You are never going to avoid all sugar. You can consciously decrease the sugar in your diet, and I do promote that. Decreasing and getting rid of the unwanted sugar. But you will never, ever, ever realistically wipe sugar out of your diet. I don't either. I will enjoy a slice of cake every once in a while, but I stick to a low sugar diet. But here's the thing about sugar. Sugar is highly acidic and interacts with the bacteria inside your mouth. That's why you don't want the bad bacteria. You want the good bacteria. And it breaks down the tooth enamel. Honey and table sugar, which is sucrose, appear to be the worst culprits. For all you honey lovers and think it's better, honey and table sugar are the worst culprits inside your mouth. Importantly, here's another, listen up, listen to me. You've got to hear this. One study found that a higher frequency in sugar consumption led to demineralization more than the amount of sugar consumed. So if you're going to consume it all in one piece of cake. Don't consume it in small amounts throughout the day, right? One lump sum, like my little piece of cake that I'll enjoy every once in a while, is going to do less damage inside my mouth and inside my body than having sugar, a little bit of sugar in my coffee and a little bit of sugar in my salad dressing and a little bit of sugar in my snack and a little bit of sugar at dinner and then a little bit of sugar in my tea before bed. Wipe it out. Eat it all at once. It's going to do less damage to you having one lump sum of sugar than, and really you shouldn't have any sugar. I'd really love to say that, but having it less frequently in the day. So keep that in mind when you're eating. Less frequent, but if you're gonna have it, I guess make it good, right? Make it that really good piece of cake. All right, so let me see. These are things to avoid. Carbohydrates. So bacteria, I'm talking about the bad formula for cavities. These are the things you want to avoid to prevent the growth of this, to keep it more alkaline inside your body. Carbohydrates, the bacteria feed on leftover foods in the mouth and produce acids, which causes decay. Carbohydrate-laden foods, and guys, these are primarily, like if you're eating a healthy diet, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't do that. Most of these are processed foods, like chips, bread, pasta, crackers. Those can be just as harmful as candy in your mouth. Sticky foods such as raisins, granola bars, jelly beans, caramel, honey, and syrup stick to teeth and make it difficult for saliva to wash that sugar away. Remember, your saliva is protective. Sugary snacks like cookies, cakes, or other desserts contain high amounts of sugar and can cause decay. Gum and candy, chewing gum and eating candy is harmful to your teeth and can lead, it coats your teeth and can lead to cavities. Carbonated drinks. Pop, remember, soda is very acidic. So, and it also contains a lot of sugar, which you don't want. And if you're drinking the diet, that's just as bad because that kills your brain cells. So you just want to avoid soda altogether. Just drink some decaffeinated tea or sugar-free tea. Both regular and diet sodas contain phosphorus and carbonation, which wear away at your enamel. So not only is soda bad because it's acidic, but it also contains phosphorus and carbonation, which will wear away at your enamel. So then they can become brown and stained. And then you need my LED teeth whitener to help remove the stains along with the tooth powder. Okay, here's another one. Fruits and vegetable juices, guys, because they tend to be high in sugar. Did you guys know that juicing fruit is really just concentrating the sugar? You're better off throwing a whole apple in and making more like a smoothie than juicing it, because you're concentrating the sugar. And when you're making your juice, you're making like an 8-ounce glass, right? It doesn't matter if you're making juice or a smoothie, you're making enough to drink about 8 ounces. Most people do. You're not making a shot. So the problem is that you're concentrating the sugar and you need so much more to juice than if you threw the whole apple in, and the fiber in there is going to be more beneficial for you and there won't be as much sugar. So do that. It's better to do a green smoothie and maybe add a little bit of an apple or something that's a little bit sweeter if you want than just juicing. All right, quickly, guys, I want to tell you what to eat because I don't want to leave you hanging like, oh, I can't have this, I can't have that. It's probably what most of you are already eating. These are 7 vitamins and minerals your mouth needs. So these are some of the things that you want to eat for your teeth health. Remember, it's going to come back in your saliva. So you want to make sure that you're eating these different minerals. They're going to help with your gut. They're going to help create that anti-inflammatory condition inside your mouth. That's going to help your leaky gut or your digestive issues that you have. And if you fix your gut and fix your immune system, wow, your life gets better. Other issues that you thought you had completely go away or get so much better. Calcium is the first one. So it's a friend for your teeth. So you just want to make sure that you're eating things that have calcium in it, because it doesn't just build your teeth, but it builds your bones and provides structural support for your jaw as well as your body. In your mouth, calcium helps harden your enamel and strengthen your jawbone. Not directly, remember. It is directly when it's coming from the food, as long as the surface of your tooth is clean. Here's the key, guys. When you're brushing with Toxapaste, it also has glycerin in it. Glycerin puts that Band-Aid or plastic wrap over your tooth. So if your tooth has a spot that's starting to break down, like this, if you have a tooth that has starting to break down, Toxapaste covers that spot up, that demineralized spot up, just like it is. Toxapaste covers it up. And guess what happens? It prevents, when you eat something that has calcium in it, it puts that plastic wrap so the calcium can't actually get in your tooth, right? It prevents it when you have it in your saliva. When your saliva is trying to wash away something, if you've got that coating from toxapaste on your tooth, that's why if you have sensitive teeth, there's demineralization there. That's why the demineralization doesn't hurt when you use toxapaste, because it puts a saran wrap coating called glycerin on your tooth so you don't feel it, so you think you're okay, and then all of a sudden this turns into this, and now you've got a major issue, and you and your dentist are best buddies, right? He's peering down your mouth more than you are, right? You don't want that. So you want to brush with Dirty Mouth tooth powder, because Dirty Mouth tooth powder doesn't put a coating on your tooth. You know what Dirty Mouth tooth powder does? So this mineral-rich powder actually puts the minerals right back in your tooth. It's going to, when you brush your tooth, it's going to brush that coating away. So guess what? If you have sensitive teeth, that sensitivity might come back a little bit until the minerals in the tooth powder and the foods that you then eat with that have calcium in it can get back in. But it's gonna wash that coating away very quickly. So you might feel a little bit of sensitivity to it. But don't worry, the powder has the minerals in it. So as you're brushing and eating food, the minerals can go back into that spot, and voila, you have thicker enamel, all right? So what to eat that has calcium in it? You wanna eat yogurt. If you eat dairy, you would wanna eat cheese is good. I know a lot of you don't eat the dairy, but if you do eat dairy, cheese and yogurt have a lot of calcium in it, but broccoli and salmon do as well. So those are good sources. All right, vitamin D is another source that is really important for your dental health. Vitamin D, here's why. It helps you absorb calcium, which is what is in your teeth and your bones. So vitamin D is really important while boosting bone mineral density. So it's crucial to get an adequate amount of vitamin D to get the most out of what you're eating that has calcium in it. No point in eating broccoli if you don't like it, if you don't have any vitamin D, right? So eat your vitamin D. What can you eat? So first of all, your body normally makes vitamin D when you're exposed to the sun. So you don't necessarily always want to use a sunblock. I am a proponent of allowing your body to create vitamin D by not blocking it with sun blockers, right? You want your body to be able to create the vitamin D. But it's also found in fatty fish, canned tuna, portobello mushrooms. Those are really good. You can also look for it in foods and drinks that have been fortified with vitamin D, like orange juice, some types of cereals, and milk. I'll mention those in case anybody's not necessarily gluten-free or milk-free. So the third thing that you want to eat is things that are rich in potassium, all right? Like vitamin D, potassium improves your bone mineral density. It can also work with magnesium to prevent blood from becoming too acidic. That's really important for your bones, which can leach calcium from your bones in your teeth. Because your bones are the same way. If you have an acidic environment anywhere, it leaches the minerals from wherever you have minerals. It's gonna leach the minerals from your teeth and your bones. This is why, ladies, during pregnancy, you end up with a little bit more, I want to say you're a little bit more acidic related to the fluctuations in your diet, the fluctuations in your hormones and other things. But this is why a lot of ladies, after they give birth, a lot of moms experience pain in their teeth or brittle bones. And it's because of that environment of acidity during pregnancy. So the best way to prevent that is brushing with the alkalizing Dirty Mouth tooth powder and making sure that you're alkalizing your body internally with the foods that you eat. So potassium, you want to eat bananas. Those are awesome. Fruits and vegetables that are also high besides bananas include lima beans, tomatoes, Swiss chard potatoes, sweet potatoes, avocados, and prunes. So eat lots of those. Phosphorus is the fourth one. Phosphorus supports calcium in building strong bones and teeth. What you want to eat is a lot of like phosphorus is found in a lot of things, including seafood, scallops, sardines, cod, shrimp, tuna, and salmon. So if you want to get your phosphorus from plant-based, consider soybeans, lentils, pumpkin seeds, and you can also find it in beef, pork, and cheese. All right. Vitamin K is the next one. So vitamin K is also really important. It's a shield vitamin. It helps block substances that break down your bone. So think of vitamin K not as something that's going to actually produce bone. It's actually going to prevent the breakdown because of other things. It helps your body produce osteocalcin, which is a protein that supports bone strength. A vitamin K deficiency can slow down your body's healing process, making you more likely to bleed. You want to chow down on leafy greens such as kale, collards, and spinach. They can help increase your vitamin K. Other sources include parsley, broccoli, and I love Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are awesome. A little bit of coconut oil with some sea salt. Put those babies in the oven and let them roast. Brussels sprouts are amazing. Vitamin C is number 6, I believe. It strengthens your gums and your soft tissue in your mouth. It can protect against gingivitis and the early stages of gum disease. Vitamin C is anti-inflammatory, remember? This is pro-inflammatory. Anti-inflammatory is what we're creating here. So vitamin C is anti-inflammatory, all right? You want to eat mostly citrus. It's found in citrus foods, but you can also find it in leafy greens and potatoes. Vitamin A is the last one. Vitamin A keeps your mucous membranes. This is like for your gum health if you're thinking dental health. It keeps your mucous membranes healthy. It prevents your mouth from being dry, and it helps your mouth heal quickly when you have sores or something in your mouth. The dirty mouth, the gum serum that I create, and we're coming out with a CBD gum serum, is going to also help create that moist gum tissue and anti-inflammatory condition for your gums. So you want to eat, you can load up on fish, egg yolks, and liver for all you people who love your liver. You can also find it in leafy green vegetables like spinach, kale, collard greens, and in orange colored fruits like oranges. Also in apricots, cantaloupe, pumpkin, carrots, and sweet potatoes. So basically anything orange has a lot of vitamin A. They also contain lots of beta carotene, which your body then converts to vitamin A, all right? The last thing I want to talk about is probiotics for your health or for your mouth. There are probiotic washes out there. If you are creating this environment right now, if you are creating the environment that is the formula for cavities, you are wasting your money on probiotic washes because an acidic environment inside your mouth, which is what this is, see the lactic acid, kills the probiotic that wash or whatever your cleanse that you're doing inside your mouth. It just kills it, so you're wasting your money. Same thing with probiotics in your gut. If you have an acid buildup, you've got to correct that or the probiotics can't live there. They live in an more alkaline. They will be killed. So it's really useless to use a probiotic wash. Now, what about a probiotic oral cleanser when you have an alkaline or anti-inflammatory condition inside your mouth? It's not necessary. Like I said before, if you are doing the right things and starts with your mouth and creating the anti-inflammatory condition inside your mouth, you don't need probiotics because your oral biome will be strong enough to support you. You don't need to put anything else inside your mouth. You will create your own immune system. You will create the bugs that you need inside your mouth to fight your environment outside. We are all exposed to different things, right? My environment and what I'm exposed to is completely different from yours, and it's always changing. When your kids go to school, you end up getting bugs from all these other kids, and who gets sick? Everybody gets sick. Guess who didn't get sick? I didn't get sick because I've got the good bacteria inside my mouth, and it changes. It changes with what's happening at the moment. So why put something inside your mouth that you don't need? Like a probiotic wash. You don't need it if you're creating that anti-inflammatory condition inside your mouth. And the gut health is related to your mouth health. I hope we all have realized that. How important your oral biome is inside your mouth. You're swallowing. Just remember, every swallow you take is feeding your gut. Make sure it doesn't contain Streptococcus mutans, Lactobacilli, E. coli, H. pylori. Kill those suckers inside your mouth so that your gut, which doesn't have the biome to support that, doesn't have to. You don't support inflammatory gut If you have good biome, if you're swallowing good bacteria from your mouth, you're swallowing it into your gut and it's feeding and seeding. The last thing I'm going to say about this is here's my proof that's in the pudding. And the pudding is the babies that are born. Babies are born with a sterile mouth. They were in a sterile environment. The very first place that they're exposed to bacteria, if you're vaginally delivered, is through the vaginal canal. Bacteria inside your body, a good bacteria is put there to protect you. We have good bacteria in a lot of places in our body. It's all through our mouth, our gut, it's in our pits, it's in our vaginal canal. And during delivery, babies born with a vaginal delivery are exposed to that good bacteria, and that is their exposure to build. That's how they build and create their immune system with that good bacteria. They swallow it when they eat and when they have saliva and when they cry. They swallow that good bacteria, and that's how they start to form their digestive, their gut bacteria. It's also supported by mother's milk. So if a baby is vaginally delivered and has breast milk, they have a stronger immune system because mom is passing along good bacteria or things to create good bacteria through mother's milk. So babies develop their immune system. We all developed our immune system from a sterile mouth. You feed and seed your gut with whatever you swallow from your mouth. Super, super important. All right, so this concludes my masterclass. Did you guys love it? Of how to heal a cavity. That's the formula for a cavity. Get rid of the bacteria because dirty mouth tooth powder will. Get rid of the lactic acid. You can eat some sugar and starches. You still won't create that bad environment. You want an alkalizing environment. You can do that with dirty mouth tooth powder. The LED teeth whitener I didn't talk a little bit about, but I mentioned it. Will also support your good biome, and it helps to kill the bad bacteria inside your mouth, and it helps to create the anti-inflammatory condition inside your mouth. And because the gel doesn't have the nasty peroxide that destroys your enamel, it actually has olive oil, essential oils, clay, and minerals. It actually restores your enamel and rebuilds your enamel. So it has the red and blue LED lights, and they both support your gum tissue, your good biome, an anti-inflammatory condition inside your mouth, as well as your minerals. All of this, guys, creates the environment inside your gut, and in your mouth, that when you do eat the calcium and the phosphorus and the vitamin D and all those things that I mentioned, you can absorb them. So it's a double whammy. Remember, it goes full circle. When it gets absorbed into your body, then when you create the saliva to wash and neutralize the acids inside your mouth, this is why you don't necessarily need to create a sterile mouth. Like, you don't need to wash with harsh things, because when you let your body go full circle and your saliva then has the minerals in it, because your body can absorb them, and when you eat something that has minerals in it, your teeth can reabsorb them, you can have stronger teeth. You can heal a cavity, and that is how. All right, Mike, do I have questions?
Oh, do you have questions? Yes, there's quite a few.
How about the folks who drink lemon water and put apple cider vinegar in their water? I just saw that, Roberta, so I'm going to talk about that. Is tea with stevia or Lancanto sugar? I don't know what Lancanto sugar is. So people who drink lemon water or put apple cider vinegar in their mouth, Roberta, just don't swish it around in your mouth, because it's very good to drink it. It's alcohol, or it's actually, and apple cider vinegar, believe it or not, unlike other vinegars, it is alkalizing to your body. You just don't want to swish it around full strength inside your mouth. You can actually do an apple cider vinegar swish. You just want it diluted. And it does support your oral biome, and it does support your gut biome. I actually have a masterclass on apple cider vinegar. It's acvchallenge.com. And I go through a lot of stuff about apple cider vinegar and how it actually heals your body. I think it's 30 days. I do about how apple cider vinegar helps your body, and doing just one shot a day will miraculously turn your health around. And one of the things I talk about is doing that shot. But the main thing with lemon juice, because lemon juice is really good for your body too, and I believe lemon juice is also alkalizing for your body, even though it's acidic in pH. You don't want to swish it around in your mouth, but you can swallow it. And that tiny, especially when you don't have this happening, when you have the formula for remineralization happening, it's not going to destroy your mouth. Guys, I'm losing my voice. It takes about 3 brushings of something like this to create a formula for cavity, to destroy your good biome is what I'm talking about, and to create an acidic environment inside your mouth. Only 3 brushings. 3 brushings, guys, and you have turned a beautiful cavity or cavity-free mouth tooth from that to this. 3 brushings destroys your oral biome inside your mouth and creates an acidic environment. It also takes about 3 to 5 brushings of dirty mouth tooth powder with the gum serum to convert that back. So don't worry, it's okay. You didn't know any better. It's not your fault. Oops, let me flip it around. It only takes about 3 or 4 brushings, and you are restoring your oral biome and creating an alkaline condition inside your mouth. It doesn't take long. Your body is beautiful. Your biome builds beauty. All right? Your biome builds beauty. Don't destroy your biome. That is the beauty to your health and to your looks. Sorry. I took over. Go ahead. I got to get a drink. Woo!
Well, while you get a drink there, we've got quite a few questions. Some about what is it here? Sugarless gum. Does that help neutralize acids? And also, if someone doesn't have any teeth, should they still be brushing?
Oh, good questions. Okay. Do you guys like how Mike pops himself on here? I love it. I think it's great. All right. So sugarless gum. Most likely it's a good and a bad whammy. So sugarless gum, it depends on what it's sweetened with. Because some of the sweeteners like aspartame are really detrimental to your health. So you really need to look at what it's like. Xylitol or stevia are probably the safer ones to use. But here's the thing, and it does cleanse your mouth, and it will stimulate saliva production. So there are good things to chewing sugarless gum as long as you're chewing a good sugarless gum. Like I know my kids chew Simply gum. I think it's called Simply. That one is pretty good. But anytime you eat sugar, it sets off something in your brain. This is for you health freaks out there like me who really are freaky about their health and want to go like deeper into the neuroscience. It sets off a part of your brain, and your brain doesn't know if it's table sugar, honey, if it's monk fruit, which is not really sugar. It just tastes that sweet. Your brain can't delineate what that sweetness is coming from. It tells your brain you want more. And the more might not be the healthy monk fruit. It might lead you to the extra cake, or when you go to Starbucks to get a coffee, you might grab that muffin or something. So you don't need to chew gum to do anything to cleanse your palate. If you have a healthy mouth and you have not done this, you've reversed this to the remineralizing formula, you really don't need breath mints or gum because your mouth feels fresh. I mean, think about it. Your oral biome destroys the bacteria that causes bad breath. Bad breath is the first sign that you are on your way to the formula for cavity. It actually is the first sign that you have this happening in your mouth because it's an imbalance between good biome and bad biome inside your mouth. The bad bacteria is starting to overtake your mouth. That causes bad breath. That leads to this formula getting worse and worse and worse. So really, I haven't chewed gum or used a breath mint in probably 4 or 5 years. I don't feel the need to, and I don't want that sugar taste because it sets off in my brain that my brain wants more sugar because it doesn't care that it came from monk fruit. So I do make a monk fruit tooth powder. It's sweetened with monk fruit. Monk fruit's not sugar, it's an antioxidant. What I try to tell people is if you can do the unsweetened formula, the non-monk fruit formula, do it, because first thing in the morning, you want to brush with something that's not putting sugar in your brain. Like, I don't mean in your brain, I mean the thought of sugar in your brain. Wherever that process is in your brain that says sweet, 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 give me more, you don't want to really start your day out that way. So really, the best thing to do is to avoid the sweet, regardless of where it comes from, at all times. Because you're going to get enough of this sugar in the things that you don't plan on getting sugar from. It's in so many foods. So I try to steer clear of it and only get it when I really want that good piece of white cake with white frosting. Man, sugar load me, because having it one time is better than having it 12 times during the day, remember? All right, what was the other question? What is better, plain or charcoal? Wait, plain. Oh, of the formula. Neither one's better than the other. The charcoal has activated charcoal added to the white formula. So the white formula, I suggest starting with, if you didn't brush, if you're coming from Toxapaste or something that doesn't have minerals in it to Dirty Mouth tooth powder, start with a white formula. Here's why. If your teeth have holes in them, I don't care how little, sometimes the charcoal will stick to the little holes and make your teeth look gray. So you want to rebuild your enamel, fill in your enamel, which happens really quickly, but give it like 30 days and then you can switch to the charcoal formula. The charcoal is great because it helps to pull toxins a little bit more. This clay is really good at pulling toxins out of your gum tissue and your teeth. But adding the activated charcoal helps with whitening a little bit more, but it also helps pull toxins just a little bit more. So neither one's better than the other. It's just what you want. Some people brush with the white in the morning and the charcoal at night. Sorry, Mike.
That's okay.
All right. I beg for forgiveness.
It's okay. I'm used to you giving long-winded answers. But the next question from Danielle is, how long does it take to heal cavities that have gone into the dentin?
That just depends. So I had a customer, I've had more than one, that have needed root canals and gone in to get the root canals. I mean, a root canal would pretty much look like this. Like, it's pretty bad. I have 3 stages here. So we have 3 stages of demineralization, or this is more of a cavity when it's gone down into the dentin. I have had people with a stage like this that needed a root canal heal it. The key is you've got to get rid of the bacteria that causes that demineralization. You have to change this formula around to a remineralization formula. It will not heal if this is happening in the mouth. So Dirty Mouth tooth powder, what I would suggest is, I would also suggest doing the LED teeth whitener, because the gel for the teeth whitener is activated charcoal. It's gonna help kill the bad bacteria. It's going to help pull toxins from that indentation in your tooth. And it's going to help put the minerals back in. So the LED teeth whitener will also help. But the tooth powder, what you can do, brush 3 times a day and take your finger and pack that tooth. Just as many times a day as you can. Just pack that tooth with the tooth powder, because the more you can expose that tooth to the minerals, the better. Like, you could pack it all day long. But I have had people who have needed root canals. I had one woman who had 6 cavities, 1 needed a root canal, started using the tooth powder, and a couple weeks later went to get a root canal done, and they sent her home with just 1 small cavity. Like, it didn't need a root canal, and her other ones were healed. How long that takes is dependent upon the condition inside your mouth. It's dependent on your health and your immune system as well. And it's dependent on how active you are in creating a condition like this. The other thing you can do, if you actively have a tooth that has something in it that really needs attention, if it's not super painful, because when it's pain involved, or if it's involving any kind of inflammation to the bone or deeper, do what your dentist recommends, because you never want to deal with like abscesses and things like that. But if you have time or can get in touch with a biological dentist that can do ozone therapy, they can actually do ozone. The ozone they'll shoot down into there, and that will wipe away all of the bad bacteria as well. Then when you use the tooth powder, or any remineralization, they might be able to give you a remineralization treatment that can help heal it as well. So it really depends on the severity, the condition inside your mouth, your immune system, and anything else that might be going on inside your mouth. Was there another question with?
There is another question. Actually, I asked before, but we skipped it. CK asked, her question was, her husband has no teeth.
Oh, yeah.
So he doesn't think that he needs to brush. He uses mouthwash. What is your recommendation?
So my recommendation for anyone that's edentulous, which is the medical term for no teeth, I usually suggest brushing with the soft brush, and you can use a little bit. It doesn't hurt. So dirty mouth tooth powder is perfect for someone who doesn't have any teeth because the clay is like a cleanse. It's going to help pull toxins. If you only knew what was in your gum tissue, you would totally cleanse your teeth and your gums with dirty mouth tooth powder. So dirty mouth tooth powder has, I have to look this up. I always forget if it's positive or negative. I think dirty mouth tooth powder has a positive charge, toxins have a negative, maybe it's opposite, but regardless, when they bind together, the tooth powder, the clay, pulls the toxins out of your tissues. So your gums are exposed to everything, including water. And water, if it's not purified, and we're exposed to more unpurified water than we know, we're exposed to heavy metals that are in foods that we don't realize. Like processed foods, canned foods can have heavy metals in them. Your gum tissue can hold on to heavy metals. And guess what? Clay can bind to heavy metals and pull them out of tissues. So regardless of whether you have teeth or not, you should be taking care of your gums. Your gums support your internal health. Your gums are the gatekeepers between not just your inside, like your mouth, but it's into your body, your bloodstream. Once a toxin gets into your bloodstream, it's fair game and the party is on, because it can go anywhere. So strep, I don't remember what the bacteria is. I'll have to look it up. But there's a bacteria that's found in the mouth that causes gingivitis. It's not one of the three that I mentioned. But there's a bacteria that's in the mouth that causes gingivitis that has been found in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. 95% of the patients with Alzheimer's had this bacteria in their brain, which means it came from their mouth, through their gums, into their bloodstream, through the leaky brain, because your brain is supposed to have that blood-brain barrier, but it gets broken down, and into your brain. Here's your brain. Here's your mouth. They're super close. You want your teeth and your mouth and your gum tissue to be super, super healthy. So brushing with the tooth powder and a soft brush will not only detox your gum tissue, but it also helps massage your gum tissue. So your husband's wrong. He should be brushing to pull the toxins out of his gums and massage his gums, which is going to keep them healthier. Because think about when you get a massage with your with your tissue, you're exposing, like you're helping to get rid of toxins just by the massage itself, but you're also stimulating blood flow, decreasing inflammation, and just stimulating cell turnover, massaging your gum tissue. So definitely massaging his gums with a soft toothbrush. This is my activated charcoal, which will help pull toxins, remove plaque a little bit more efficiently on our bamboo toothbrush. Not that he needs this, but he definitely, this wouldn't hurt. Would be great, but a soft toothbrush to massage his gums. Christy, oh, you're welcome, Christy. I just saw your thank you. Oh, Eileen, great job. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I'm so glad. You guys like the masterclass? I just decided to do this. Mike and I winged this, right? Literally. An hour before I came on, I go, Mike, I'm going to do a masterclass on how to heal a cavity. Pretty cool, huh? All right. Another question?
Another question. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Sweet. Cindy, her question, she has adult braces, ceramic top and metal bottom. How would the LED system work on whitening and killing bacteria?
So the LED teeth whitener works for anyone that has any dental work. So people with veneers, I actually have customers that have veneers, they use it because your mouth isn't just your teeth. You got to remember that. Your mouth is all sorts of pieces and parts. I mean, you've got your bone tissue and you've got your gum tissue and blood vessels, everything inside your mouth. So the LED teeth whitener works with all implants. It works with veneers. It works with braces, ceramic, and it's more than just for your teeth. So how it works is the red LED light. Let me see if I can plug this in. So the red LED lights, which there's 4, help with the gum tissue. So red LED light therapy has been used for years in spas and salons and doctor's office to speed wound healing, especially for like diabetic ulcers and things like that. Let me plug this one in here because I've used this one so much. Okay, so the red LED lights helps increase circulation and decrease inflammation. It helps with collagen production and just helps heal wounds very, very quickly. So for your gum tissue, anyone that has any implants, any kind of, even people like without teeth, the edentulous, this will still help the red light therapy because it's going to support your gum tissue. It's also going to help penetrate anything you put on your gum. So we're coming out with our CBD formula of gum serum. I can't wait because I think that on the days that you don't use the teeth whitening gel that just fell on the floor, on the days that you don't use the whitening gel, putting the CBD formula on your gum tissue when you're using the LED is going to like take your dental health to the next level because it's going to help that absorb deeper and faster into your gum tissue and decrease inflammation even more. The blue light isn't just to whiten your teeth. It helps kill the bad bacteria. There it is, the bad bacteria. It helps kill the streptococcus mutans and the lactobacilli and the H. pylori and the E. coli. So the blue light will help kill the bacteria. So those are the 2 things that it does, even if you don't have real teeth. The blue light will also help whiten teeth. So it might not whiten veneers any lighter than just removing surface stains along with the activated charcoal gel, but the blue light will help kill the bad bacteria. But the gel itself has an olive oil base, so it's good for your gums. It's going to help penetrate your gums. So using it with this, with the red light, it's going to help penetrate deeper. It has essential oils in it that are supporting your gum tissue, supporting your good biome, killing the bad stuff. And then it has the clay in it and the charcoal. The clay are going to help remineralize your teeth, but both the charcoal and the clay are going to help to pull those toxins out of your gums and your teeth. And not just that, your entire palate and your tissue in your mouth. So that's how they work together. I suggest using this system initially 5 days a week together, this with this, 5 days a week for 20 minutes. Plugs into your phone. Right now I have it plugged into my laptop because my phone's being wonky. But it plugs right into your cell phone or your laptop, and put this on either this or right on your teeth, and you can whiten away. If you do this without the gel, I suggest about 5-minute treatment. So throw some gum serum on. I don't have the CBD out yet, but you can use our regular gum serum. Put this in your mouth, and it'll whiten your teeth and help restore your gum tissue. If after the 4 weeks of 5 treatments a week with this, then I suggest at least 3 times a week with this, and it doesn't take long, 20 minutes. I do this a lot when I'm working. I do this when I'm making dinner so I can't snack. It's super easy and very comfortable to use. All right, Mike, I think I answered the question.
I believe so.
Okay.
There was one question about Sonicare. Can you use it with the Sonicare?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people use the tooth powder with Sonicare. I love the Sonicare toothbrush. I have one myself, so I usually brush in the morning with this, and I'll use the Sonicare at night, or I do a switch, but I do one in the morning and one at night. I love the Sonicare, it's awesome. But I love the activated charcoal as well. I travel, this is my definite travel toothbrush. But I alternate during the day with my Sonicare and my activated charcoal toothbrush. I don't think you can go wrong. All right, guys, we've probably got enough time for one or two more questions. And then I promise, which ones, the cool, Sheena, she wants to know which tooth powders don't have mint. The bubble gum and the cinnamon do not have mint. The cool orange has spearmint in it. So the bubble gum and the cinnamon do not have mint. All right, sorry. About two more questions, guys, and then we are crunched for time, so we got to go. But I promise I'll come back and answer more questions. Mouthing Off with Trina is every Tuesday at 3 p.m. You can join me every Tuesday at 3 p.m. I come on and basically answer your questions, okay? So whatever questions you guys have.
Next question. From Heidi, how does flossing play into all of this?
So there's a lot of, it's interesting. There's a lot of literature out there of, do you really need to floss or do you not need to floss? I love to floss, although I don't floss every day. I probably floss every other day because the space between your teeth is really important because it gets ignored. You don't want your teeth to end up looking like this, especially in between. And the gum tissue between there is really difficult to get to too. So what I usually do is use a little bit of floss, and we're planning on coming out with an activated charcoal floss very soon. I just don't have a release date for it. But what I do is use a floss and put a little bit of the gum serum right on my finger and put my floss through it and then floss in between. I think flossing is very important. I also have seen literature that it's not, but I like to do it because when I floss, I will get things out between my teeth after I brush. So that's why I think it's really important. Plus, the tissue in between there and your teeth between there, it's not that they get ignored, they just can't get reached very easily by a toothbrush. So that's why I like it. I also like to kind of swish my tooth powder around in my mouth before I spit it out. That way I can kind of get into the little crevices. The other thing, guys, is your gums, you want to make sure that like swishing with the tooth powder and the tooth powder getting down into your gum pockets helps them heal. That helps them heal. It creates the environment, like I said before, the environment where you can remineralize and also heal your gums. That's more alkaline. An alkaline environment will also help heal your gum tissue. Do we have another? I'm sure we have a bunch.
Yes, we do have a bunch, and there was a couple questions about care for a broken tooth. So if you have any recommendations on that.
Okay, so a broken tooth, which would be like a cracked tooth. I actually think I might have one, but I don't have time. I can't look for it. Oh, wait. I do have one. So I don't know if we can see this, but this would be more like a cracked tooth right over here. Yeah, that would be a cracked tooth. So it just depends on the severity of the cracked tooth. Just like any type of breakdown in your enamel. If there's pain or any kind of inflammation involved, I would probably recommend doing what your dentist recommends. If there's no pain and you have time, the Dirty Mouth tooth powder, the LED teeth whitener, creating the environment inside your mouth that remineralizes your teeth is the answer. That's the bottom line. There's only one way to fix your mouth, and it's with an alkaline mouth with minerals in it and good bacteria. Good minerals, good bacteria, and an alkalized mouth. Those are the three key components to fixing any dental issue. This does none of that. So you have no chance of it happening with this. So here's the other thing. This and mouthwash. You need to get rid of anything you're using that has anything in it that's harmful. So because you can't brush with Dirty Mouth tooth powder and then do a mouthwash that says it kills 99% of all germs, because you've just destroyed all the good biome. So don't use this with this, you have to throw this crap out. It's killing you. Literally, killing your good bugs means killing you, killing your gut, killing your brain, killing your heart, killing your, everything inside you, including when you're pregnant, the baby that's, exposed to this stuff and not exposed to your good bacteria. So you want to get rid of that. That's the main thing. The main thing is creating a good environment. So this with the gum serum, the LED teeth whitener will create the formula for remineralization, which is the alkaline environment, good bacteria, and minerals to support your teeth. It's also going to be detoxifying your tissues inside your mouth to promote better internal and external health. And the other thing is, I would say the same thing as far as packing the tooth, is if you have the tooth powder, using the LED teeth whitener, but putting the gel directly on that part of the tooth. So if you have a cavity, put the gel directly on the cavity, directly on that broken tooth, put this in your mouth and do this for about 15 to 20 minutes. Also, packing that area, if it's a broken tooth, packing it as often as you can with the tooth powder. There's no guarantees, but that's your best bet.
All right, one last question really quick. From Kelly, what is the best tooth powder for combating cavities that have already started or formed?
Dirty mouth tooth powder. So dirty mouth tooth powder. So here's the thing. If you have one cavity in your mouth, if you have gum disease or if you have bad breath, you are on your way. The environment inside your mouth, it's not a one or none, it's a one or all. This is a one or all situation. Not one tooth is exposed to that. Not one tooth has the formula for the cavity. Every single tooth in your mouth is exposed to that environment. They are all living with the bacteria, the sugars, the lactic acid, the demineralization, the plaque, the inflammation, the pro-inflammatory environment. So you have to change the environment. It all comes down to the environment inside your mouth. Dirty mouth tooth powder is alkalizing. So brushing with dirty mouth tooth, it doesn't matter what flavor you use. I would recommend, if you have this going on, a cavity, when we come out with our CBD, which hopefully will be within the next 1 to 2 weeks, that would be the formula to use. But until then, any of our formulas are perfect, any of the flavors. They're all the same formula, just different flavors. So the gum serum is a must. You can buy that as a package, the gum serum and the tooth powder. Putting the gum serum on more than twice a day is amazing. And during the day, if you want something to freshen your breath, get rid of those sugary mints and the sugary gum. I don't care if it's artificial sugar. I don't care. It's that sweet sensation to your brain that can't delineate between real sugar and fake sugar. It just wants more sugar, which is not healthy for your heart, makes holes in your brain, and it causes inflammation in your body. So don't even put the temptation in there. Use the Boost gum serum or the Dirty Mouth gum serum instead. It's going to help create that anti-inflammatory condition inside your mouth. It's going to restore your good biome, which basically means you're not going to have bad breath anyway, and it's going to give you better tasting breath for yourself.
You want to do one last question?
Yes.
All right, one last question. Promise.
Okay.
Victoria is actually watching us live on YouTube.
Hi, Victoria on YouTube.
And
I'm sending you your gift.
And her question is, can old teeth be remineralized so they don't look see-through? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you're saying, Victoria's saying that the enamel has worn down so thin that you're seeing the dentin through. So back when I was talking during the masterclass, your enamel is your thickest part. It's the whitest part of your tooth. So rebuilding your enamel is essential to having white teeth. As we age, our enamel wears thin, and sometimes that's why we get the sensitive teeth, the cavities, as well as the discolored teeth. Over time, you can rebuild the enamel, but it all comes down to the condition inside your mouth and the exposure that you're creating for the minerals. So, Victoria, the short answer is I can't guarantee that you're going to have super strong enamel like you did when you were 20, But you can definitely rebuild your enamel to be stronger and thicker. And that just depends on the exposure, and it depends on the condition. So if you're creating, and I know you are, because I know you as a customer, are creating that alkalizing condition inside your mouth, but ramp it up even more. Like eat the alkalizing foods a lot more. Decrease the amount, and if you eat like meat, that's causes more acidity, brush with the tooth powder right afterwards, because your saliva will help neutralize it. But if you really want to remineralize your teeth even more and faster or better or stronger or thicker, the more you can expose them to the minerals, the better. So eating foods that are organic are going to have more minerals in them than eating foods that are not organic. But the soil's really depleted. So in minerals these days, so even organic soil is more depleted. That's why brushing with tooth powder is really important. Also making sure your gut, like I talked earlier, making sure your gut is healthy. It starts inside your mouth. Making sure your gut is healthy means that when you do take supplements or the minerals end up in your stomach or your digestive system, your small intestine, you can absorb them. Because if you have issues in your gut, like colitis or leaky gut syndrome going on, you're not absorbing those minerals, which basically means you're not putting them back into your saliva. Your saliva won't have as high of a concentration of the calcium and the phosphorus in it to create remineralization for your teeth when you salivate. So making sure that the whole circle is working really, really well. And I know Victoria is really in tune, so but maybe just ramping it up just a little bit more, brushing an extra time during a day, or doing, I think she's got the LED, you've got the LED, using the LED with the gel 5 days a week or 6 days a week or whatever. So just ramping it up a little bit more. Good? All right. Hey guys, I'm so glad you guys joined me for the masterclass. I hope you guys learned a lot. I enjoy talking about this. If you have more questions, please feel free to comment. I know that there were a lot of questions we didn't get to, so I will try to get back on and answer these questions. Some of them, at peeking at them, I can't answer because I'm not a dentist. So what I plan to do is have a dentist, a biological dentist, come on so that you can ask those types of questions, because the questions about the fillings and things like that, I can't necessarily answer the way you want me to answer those. It's not part of my expertise, but I can bring on a biological dentist. So I'm looking for a biological dentist who doesn't mind being interviewed and wants to talk about this stuff, that you guys can ask those questions. So we will try to jot down those questions and get those over to a biological dentist who will come join me, and you guys can ask those questions. So thank you guys so much for joining me. And please, please, please share this with people that you know and love. This will also be available on YouTube, and I will probably make it a masterclass that people can sign up for and listen to again, because I think there's a lot of great information. So thanks, guys. Have an amazing day. And as always, make sure that you're anti-inflammatory everywhere, but it starts inside your mouth. Don't let your mouth be where good health ends. Make it where good health starts for you.